Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Maddie, or Maddie Reads, and today I will be doing my March reading wrap up. These videos get a little bit chaotic. These are probably some of my best videos, I feel like, and I love making these videos. So I'm very excited to sit down and talk with you about all the books that I read in March. It's basically where I just tell you what books I read, what I rated them, my thoughts on them, how I read them, if I read them as an audiobook, paperback, Kindle, if I was in a reading slump, if I had to rate the month, like on a scale of like reading experience, reading ratings, the books that I read all together as a whole. Just kind of like just a summary of my reading month. This is the new bookshelf, guys, for those of you who don't know, because it's my first video filming it with this. And so right here I have a 5-star shelf right here right now is what it's gonna be as like labeling. Down here I have dystopian, and then down here I have just kind of like other books. But all my books that are over there on my other shelf are books that I have not read. That's why there's only 2 of the Sense series, because I haven't finished it yet. But all these books on here I've read. So I am very excited for today's video. This will definitely change soon, maybe in the future. But I'm excited, and let's go ahead and hop into today's video. So in the month of March, let me see. I read 4 books. March was a struggle. March was like a very big struggle. March, I was in a reading slump because of one specific book. And that book was actually the first book that I read in March. And I really wish I'd not have done that, because then I would have been like, because that whole month like kind of like set up for failure. I read 4 books. That's the worst I've done so far this year. I'm really not happy with that, but I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna make it up to you guys for April. I was like, for what? For April? Yes, I'll make it up to you for April. So the first book that I read in March was, in fact, Onyx by Rebecca Yarros. I, of course, have the physical copy. This is the only physical book that I read this month. I was mainly a Kindle reader this month, but the other 3 books were on Kindle. Yeah. This book, 5 stars. I had a vlog that came out for me reading this, and wow, can I just say, wow. This book was like crazy. The very beginning part of it, like the first 200 pages, which I know sounds a lot, but I couldn't keep up with anything that was going on. And but like as you got farther into it, it made more sense or whatever. And then like at the very like last 50% of it, it picked up. It was amazing. It was great. Like that, it was amazing. And I felt like at the very beginning we were doing things that were going to lead up to that ending part of the story, which I was very excited about, and very excited that I was able to do that. But I love the series so much. Zayden is everything. Definitely one of my top book boyfriends. Violet, I love her so much. One of my top female main characters, FMCs. I love all the side characters. Riddick. I forgot how funny like Riddick was after reading this. The dragons, how funny they are. Taryn, like Sigil, and Darna, they are all just amazing. And I'm very excited and happy that I read this book. The next book I read, which was of course a Kindle book, was Carvel by Stephanie Garber. I read this book 3.5 stars. It was good, but it wasn't exactly kind of like, I'm trying to like figure out how to say this without making people mad, but I find it very hard, even under the whole circumstance that they had, for a relationship to form in 7 days. for them to get together, say they love each other, like kiss. I feel like that's very taking it fast. And I know that they're in this magical world and this magical place, but I didn't like enjoy that, and I didn't feel like that was you know, like the best way to form a relationship. I feel like it could have been like a longer period of time, but I will continue in the series with the next book. I think it's like Legendary or whatever. But I made the dumb decision back in August of last year to pick up Once Upon a Broken Heart, because it's like, oh, Once Upon a Broken Heart sounds interesting. I'll read that, and knowing that then if I read that and then go back to Carvel later, it'd already be spoiled for me. And so, but luckily I read the first book and was like, no, I rated it 3.5 stars. I was like, I don't see a need to continue. So maybe, I don't know if Stephanie Glover's quite for me. I think I'm more of a high fantasy, and it felt like more of a low kind of fantasy. But I will continue the series just to see if I like it. But I definitely did not. I think it's about her younger sister, and her younger sister I wasn't exactly like in love with. I didn't really vibe with her. So maybe this book could change my feelings towards her, like most people did when they read Nesta from the Avatar series. It changed their mind once they read her book. But maybe it'll change my mind when I read her book, if it's her book. I think it is, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I am very excited for the next book in that series. And all in all, it was like a good book. I'd recommend, but like it wasn't my favorite, and it wasn't like my favorite books of 2025. No, it's probably no. I don't think it'll be on there. Unless I read some pretty crappy books the rest of this year, then it probably will be on there. But if I don't, then no. I was very excited. I did put it on my 25 books to read in 2025. I've slowly been making my way through that. I think I have like 4 or 5 books now checked off that. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm just so happy and thrilled because that's one of my books. That, and then Once Upon a Broken Heart to read the whole series. So I like that's gonna happen. I hope it will, but probably won't. I say that, like, I put these books specifically on this list, and I know they won't happen, but I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like, we just love lying. Like, normalizing failure and normalizing lying. That's the best thing ever, right? Like, you failed, good girl. Oh, that, I meant, like, good job. Like, you know, good job, girl. Like, I didn't mean it like that. No. I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but, like, you know. Or like, good job, girl. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say good job, girl. That's what I meant to say. But yes, I'm very excited. After that, I picked up Major Love by Sapphire Hale, which for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, Sapphire Hale is one of my favorite authors in romance and like as a whole. She is my Elsie Silver, which you may have heard of Elsie Silver on Book Talk, but she's my Elsie Silver. I love her absolutely so much. I haven't been able to get into an Elsie Silver book before, but her books, right off the bat, they're amazing. Their plot lines are so unique and different, and she deserves so much hype. Like, I love her so much, and this book, of course, was a 5-star. I've read all of her books. Now I just need to read 3 more. There's 3 more. There's a series of 3 books that I need to read. And then I've read all of her books. I've read 3 of her books so far. She's come out with 6 books. And this book came out on Valentine's Day, guys. And I was not expecting it. So I didn't get to read it on Valentine's Day, obviously, because it went up in February then. But I read it, and it was so good, guys. It was so good. I'm trying to think of their names now. That's kind of bad. Yeah, I like loved it, and I can't remember. Colson? Oh, that's the name of the construction company. Guys, my mind's waking. I swear I know. I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I know. Why can't I think? She works in Nashville. She came back to her hometown. Why can't I think? This is... I'm like actually kind of mad at myself because I can't remember. Sunday. Her name was Sunday. I forgot. And like, this man, the things that he does for her, like, he's so sweet. Like, I love this man. I love this man. And his name, okay, so I knew it was Colson Construction. Jason. I was right on the tip of my tongue. I said Jason, but I wasn't sure if it was Jason or not. This man, he's like a military, or he was in the military, ex-military veteran, and then he received honorable like leave from the army or whatever, and he is settling back in his hometown. He is the CEO of Colson Construction, and Sunday comes back from running a bar in Nashville, the most famous bar in Nashville, and she meets him, and they haven't seen each other in like over 10 years, and they were like high school sweethearts, because it's brother's best friend, because her brother and him are best friends, and she was the younger one, which I loved. Like, the brother, they were older, and so his high school sweetheart returns to the mountains, and the more time they spend together, the more it feels as if they were never apart. And it's such a slow burn. Like, if you guys love slow burn, like, let me tell you, this book was almost 500 pages. Romance did not happen until page 300, like, in the 300s, or maybe like it was like early, or maybe it was like either late 200s or like early 300s. Like, it was so there. Oh my god, oh, the tension between them, it was so good. I love her book so much. I could yap at her all day, but we don't have time for that. But I highly recommend Sapphire Hill. She is such a good author. Such a good author. Last but not least, I was still in this slump from Onyx Storm. And now, I know Major Love was a 5-star. I don't know if I said that or not. I'm pretty sure I did. But this shows you how desperate I was. I was so desperate, I decided to pick up my first dark romance ever. I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre, which is a dark fairy tale retelling where Captain Hook gets the girl, Wendy. And let's just say, I didn't rate it. Like, I did not know how to rate this. It was like a train wreck that you could not look away from. It was so crazy and bizarre and absurd, and I was like questioning my morals. And then I was just like, you know, why am I reading this? And then I opened it back up because it's like, this is addicting. Like, I can't put it down. So yeah, I was reading Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and it was such like a weird dynamic. Like, I've never read the dynamic where like he is so malicious and like villainous and terrible. He kills people all the time. He's such a villain, but she's like this sweet, innocent girl who's never been in love, and like and she's a little like daddy's girl, and their dynamic is like so weird. And I was just like, no, like I could not see them together for the life of me. And in the epilogue, he's like, yeah, she's on the way with our second baby. What? No. Like how was he so bad in the book, and then he changed somehow in the epilogue, and they're having children now? Like, you can't go from being super duper bad to being this like nice loving dad. Like, you can't do that. Like, what is wrong with these people? And so then I looked at the others, like authors, other books, whatever, and then she has this whole dark series. That's the only thing I've known her for. And then she has this whole other romance series, like cute little like romances, and I'm like, what? I'm like, how can you jump from dark romance to like cute little romances? Like, that does not make sense. And it's actually kind of like scaring me. Like, it was so just like, no. But I will say, this is what this is how I pictured James Hook and this is how I pictured him in the book. This is exactly what went through my mind whenever the author was describing him. Yeah, For those of you who don't know, that's Lord Farquaad. A better picture of him. Like, they're like, no, that's exactly, I was like, Lord Farquaad. And then for her, I just saw myself. Which I know sounds bad, but like, that's me, guys. That's me. Like, no. But like, that's exactly what I thought. And so I was like, this is not okay. This is not good. Will I continue with the series? Maybe. Depends. But I may at least try the second book just to see how it is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's chaotic video of me screaming and yelling at you about books that I read in the month of March. I know what month it is. Why would you second guess me? I know exactly what I'm talking about. But April, I won't disappoint you. April's gonna be so much better. April, I'm gonna like fly through books. April is gonna be amazing. I cannot wait for April. It's already in April. I don't know what I'm yapping about. April's month, like I can tell this month is gonna be so good. So many new releases are coming out this month. All that is just very exciting. And so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!